Greetings fellow panelists, I'm Hindhumathi Ravichandran and I'm currently pursuing a bachelor's in industrial psychology. So today I will summarize my studies which examines the relationship between quiet quitting and psychological well-being among hospitality industry employees in Klang Valley. So this is the table content that I will be covering. Next. So, for the background of the study, the hospitality industry is one of the Malaysia's most important economic sector. So, especially in the Klang Valley, which is known as the country's main commercial hub. So, the employees working in hotels, restaurants, and tourism, and also management often face a long hours, irregular shift, and also high emotional demands. So these are the challenges can lead to stress, burnout, and disengagement at work. One coping trend that has gained global attention is quiet quitting, which is the employees do only what their job requires, so without taking on extra work. After the COVID-19 pandemic, many employees started valuing work-life balance and setting a clearer personal boundaries, which is evidenced in Formica and Sephora 2022 and Prathivi et al. 2023. In the hospitality field, quiet quitting has become a common as employees cope without burnout and pressure from customer demands. However, while the quiet quitting might protect mental health in the short term, so it can also reduce motivation and job satisfaction. It also referenced by Atiku et al. 2025 and also the Pretins et al. 2025, as well as the psychological well-being, which involves life satisfaction, purpose, and emotional balance, which is in evidence by Yalchin at 2021, is essential for employees to stay engaged and productive. Therefore, this study aims to examine how quiet quitting affects psychological well-being among hospitality employees in the Klang Valley. Next, we move into the problem statement, which is the quiet quitting is now recognized as a major management concern in the hospitality sector. So, some studies shows that, such as Hindhumathi et al. 2023, found that quiet quitting is strongly linked to disengagement and emotional exhaustion, while the Catalogical 2024 noted that silent workplace culture encouraged some of the behavior. And continually, Bolino and Klotz 2022 also explained that quiet quitting can be more harmful than normal resignations. So, because of this disengaged, employees remain but contribute less. So, the psychological well-being plays a major role here. The employee with low well-being experience, they experience higher level of stress, anxiety, and turnover intentions, which is referenced by Amin and Akbar 2003. However, in Malaysia, especially in Klang Valley, there is still limited research on how quiet quitting impacts psychological well-being among the hospitality employees. Since the Klang Valley is the main hub for the nation's hospitality industry, right? So it's very important to understand the relationship to promote healthier work environments and sustainable employees' performance. So next is the research questions and research objectives. So the research questions, number one is what is the level of quiet quitting among hospitality industry employees? The second question is what is the level of psychological well-being among hospitality industry employees? The last question is what is the relationship between quiet quitting and psychological well-being among hospitality industry employees? So next is the research objectives. So the number one research objectives in this research is to identify the level of quiet quitting among hospitality industry employees. The second objective is to identify the level of psychological well-being among hospitality industry employees. The third objective is to examine the relationship between quiet quitting and psychological well-being among the hospitality industry employees in Klang Valley. So next is a hypothesis. So for this study, there are two hypotheses. First hypothesis, there is a significant relationship between quiet quitting and psychological well-being among hospitality industry employees in Klang Valley. Hypothesis 2 is there is a negative relationship between quiet quitting and psychological well-being among hospitality industry employees in Klang Valley. So where the higher level of quiet quitting, the lower level of psychological well-being. So next is the significance of this study. In this study has four main areas of significance. The first one is organizational significance. It helps managers understand and address disengagement by creating supportive work environments and balancing workloads and also promoting mental health initiatives. The second one is academic significance. It means the contribute to the limited literature on quiet quitting in Malaysia's hospitality sector and also expand open studies done overseas, which is related in some articles such as Formica Sephoda 2022, Himochi et al. 2023. It also applies social exchange theory, which is SET, and also self-determination theory, SDT. So it's to strengthen the theoretical understanding. The third one is social significance, which is it can increase the public awareness of the importance of mental health, fair workloads, and also the employee recognitions. The last one is the industrial and national significance, which is it can support the long-term sustainability and the growth of Malaysia's hospitality industry, especially in the Klang Valley. Let's move to the key literature. Quiet quitting, according to Formica and Sephoda 2022, quiet quitting become more common post-pandemic as employees begin valuing work-life balance. In hospitality sector, it is often linked to emotional distress and low productivity, which is mentioned by Himochi et al. 2023 article. And also, according to the Bolino and Klotz 2022, explained that disengaged employees harm teamwork. It can be harm teamwork and service quality more than those who are resigning naturally. So and also organizational culture and leadership style also play a big role in the quiet quitting sector, which is mentioned by Samnani and Robertson 2025. Next is the psychological well-being, which is the Rives model defines psychological well-being through 6 dimensions, which is autonomy, environmental mastery, personal growth, positive relations, purpose in life, and self-acceptance. According to the Yalchin at 2021, found that high well-being improves job satisfaction, while Amin and Akbar 2013 linked poor well-being to stress and turnover. Next is the quiet quitting and psychological well-being. The link between these two is very complex, which is referenced by Prathivi et al. 2023, found that quiet quitting can act as a short-term coping mechanism, but over time it reduces engagement and happiness. So, and also according to Liu Lazarus at 2024 and Himochi et al. 2023, these both agreed that supportive management and recognitions help reduce quiet quitting and improve the overall well-being. So next about the theories. So in this study is guided by two main theories, which is the social exchange theory, which is the SET. First of all, it's introduced by George Humans in 1958. So the SET explains the relationship at work based on fairness and reciprocity, which is the mutual understanding. And also the employees who feel underappreciated or unfairly treated tend to withdraw effort and quite quit, which is the mentioned by Cropenzano et al. 2017 and also the Hamad et al. 2023. Next is self-determination theory, SDT. SDT is developed by Edward Deci and Richard Ryan in the 1980s. So the SDT focus on three basic psychological needs, which is autonomy, competence, and relatedness. When these needs are unmet, employees experience stress and lower well-being. Mentioned by Ryan et al. 2017, McNally and Hanger 2024. So together these theories explain why employees disengage and how it affects their mental health. Next, about the conceptual framework of these studies. The conceptual framework shows that quiet quitting is the independent variable and psychological well-being is the dependent variable. So the study assumes that quiet quitting has a direct impact on the psychological well-being of hospitality employees in the Klang Valley. Next, we move into the research design. In this study, uses the quantitative research design to gather numerical data through the questionnaires. The design helps identify how strongly quiet quitting predicts changes in psychological well-being. So the data are collected through online and physical surveys from the hospitality employees in Klang Valley. So next is a sampling method, which is non-probability sampling method is used in this study. So combining purposive and convenience sampling. So the purposive sampling ensure that only hospitality employees are chosen, while convenience sampling allows collecting data from accessible respondents via an online survey form, such as unused filled form, and physical distributions. So in this approach ensures a diverse and representative sample despite employees' varied schedules. So next is the research procedure, which is the first of all, data collection is done in both online and physically in selected hotels, cafes, and restaurants, and also the resorts. So before the distribution, approval from my supervisor was obtained to ensure ethics complaints. And the survey is shared through platforms such as WhatsApp, Instagram, and also the TikTok, and distribute to manually for those limited access. And also all the responses will be coded in analyzed using SPSS software, combining both methods for accuracy. Next, we move into the research instrument. So first one is the quiet quitting instrument, which is quiet quitting scale, Galanis et al. 2023, and the purpose of this instrument is to measure the level of employee disengagement and withdrawal behaviors in the workplace. So the format is 9 items rated on 5 point like a scale. 1 means the strongly disagree to 5 means the strongly agree. And the key components is measures aspects such as reduced initiative, minimal effort, detachment, and lack of engagement. The second one is a psychological well-being instrument, such as psychological well-being scale, RIPES PWB 42 items version. It's adapted to 18 items. So the purpose of this instrument is to assess overall mental and emotional well-being among hospitality, to the well-being among hospitality employees. So the format is using this instrument. Format for this instrument. So the next one is a psychological well-being instrument, which is the psychological well-being scale, the RIVES PWB 42 items versions adapted to 18 items. So the purpose of this instrument is to assess overall mental and emotional well-being among hospitality employees. So the format for this instrument is 18 items rated on 6-point Likert scale. 1 is a strongly disagree to 6 means a strongly agree. So the key components for this instrument is covers 6 dimensions, which is autonomy, environmental mastery, personal growth, positive relations, and purpose in life, and also the self-acceptance. So in the both instruments are reliable and validated for measuring employee behavior and well-being in the workplace settings. Next, we move into the pilot study. Pilot study was conducted with 30 respondents from both online and physical service. So the reliability analysis using Cronbach alpha showed that quiet quitting Cronbach alpha is 0.78798 and the psychological well-being Cronbach alpha is 0.923 and the overall of quiet quitting and psychological well-being Cronbach alpha is 0.906. So these results indicate strong internal consistency, providing the questionnaire is reliable for full data collection. So that's all from me, and thank you for your listening, my fellow panels. And I hope my study provides valuable insights into how quiet quitting impacts psychological well-being among hospitality employees in Klang. Thank you.